In the month of October, we uploaded a video titled World Market Crash that went viral with nearly 200,000 views. And within that video, we presented a chart pattern that is called a rising wedge. And most importantly, what happens when this rising wedge breaks, you get a violent price sell-off. And more importantly, how this rising wedge pattern directly relates to the crash of '87. For after the wedge was broken, the market sold off nearly 37%. Additionally, this chart pattern directly relates to the crash of 1929. For when this wedge also broke, the markets crashed nearly 50%. We furthermore then related the chart pattern to how it relates to all the world markets. At that time, we presented this chart on Australia. Australia at the time was trading at support and was expected to break the channel and then crash. Here's Australia's current chart. You'll notice that Australia broke the channel and for the past 2 months has been crashing. Next, let's look at the chart of Japan. At that time, Japan also was trading on support and was expected to crash. You'll notice Japan also for the past 2 months broke support and has now crashed as expected. Next, let's look at Switzerland. Switzerland too was trading on support. At that time, we were expecting a crash, and since October, you'll notice Switzerland too has crashed. Next, let's look at Canada. Canada at the time was trading on support, and we were expecting a crash, and you'll notice that since October, the Canadian stock market has broken support and is now crashing. Next, let's look at Germany. Germany at the time had already broken support and was leading the markets down, and since October, Germany has continued to crash further. Next, let's look at China. China at the time, like Germany, had already broken the channel and was leading the way down, and since October, China also has crashed further. Next, let's look at the United States. At that time, the Dow was the strongest of all the markets and was trading quite high. And we stated that the world markets, including the US markets, were expected to crash into year end. Few believed. Well, let's have a look what's happened to the US market since. Currently, the United States markets are trading on support. It did break support and has retraced back up, currently sitting on the support line. So the US is the strongest of all the markets, which means it will crash last. The other world markets have already foretold the direction of the markets. The US markets are holding up, but they are about to break support and crash like the rest of the world markets. Here's a long-term view on the US stock markets on the S&P 500. You'll notice in the year 2000 when the channel support was broken, the markets then followed with a crash for several years. On the second crash, when the markets broke support, they also crashed for several years. And as of this present year, 2018, you'll notice the third top on the exact day we call the top on October 3rd. The US markets began to crash on exactly October 4th, and since that crash, the markets have officially broken the channel support line here on the monthly chart. So now we should expect a multi-year bear market for the US stock markets and additionally the world stock markets. The final top is in and a bear market has officially begun on October 4th of 2018, which will continue for years to come. Lastly, let's look at the US dollar. On the day we called the exact top in December of 2016, the US dollar is in a down cycle with 2 wedges. The second and last wedge here is about to break, causing the US dollar to crash with the US stock markets. Furthermore, within that video, we discuss what is called a double top chart pattern. Once the second top is complete, the markets do reverse and then start to crash. Let's look at this chart pattern relative to the United States stock market. Here is the Dow with a double top. The first top came in January of this year, 2018, followed by a second top on, again, October 3rd, which then resulted in the crash that began on exactly October 4th. The minimum price target that we were looking for the United States Dow crash was a minimum of 20,000 on the Dow, which would be approximately a 24% correction, possibly as deep as a 30% correction if it went down to 18,000. At the time of this chart on October 19th, the US markets are trading at 25,400. Currently, here is the chart that we've sent to our subscribers, which I have decided to share publicly because this is such a truly important time for our world. Here's the current chart dated December 28th of 2018. And you will notice that the final support line broke at 23,500. Currently, December 28th, the US markets closed at 23,000 under the support line. The US markets are headed down. We have currently seen a 19% correction here within the stock market, which is still not enough. This chart pattern indicates that we should minimum see a touch or a hit of the lower Bollinger Band at around 20,000. That would take the Dow down to 25% crash. Now, we should see penetration deeper, so the markets could crash as low as 18,000, taking it down to approximately 30%. You'll notice the lower Bollinger Band here did stop the markets back in January of 2016. So this area here should serve as good support on this crash. And this crash then marks the start of the bear market for years to come. In a video that we recorded in August titled God's Four Seasons, we discussed that the fall season beginning in October brings a market crash into the month of December. So far, the US markets have crashed in the month of December, down 19%. However, this is still not as deep enough, and we are expecting one final market plunge. Additionally, within the fall season, we were expecting great evil to be uncovered within the United States of America, which we believe we are very soon to this event occurring. Now that fall has come to an end, we are in the season of winter. The season of winter is to bring prosperity and abundance to those who have prepared. Our world is at the crossroads of change that is imminent. In closing, please be sure that you have prepared your ark of safety with silver and gold, food and water, and most importantly, in faith in the Father and the Son, Jesus. For a surprise gold rush, the likes the world has never seen before, is about to begin. Our world is about to embark upon a new era of time this winter, which will be the death of the paper-based monetary system, the two-party political system. New energy is soon to be discovered, and Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency blockchain is about to explode vertical with gold and silver. And the specific Bitcoin and cryptocurrency cycle is provided to our subscribers within the Bitcoin index. We are sitting at a very important point in time. We do expect a slight push higher, one quick pullback, which will be a very important entry point, and then from that time point we expect a market explosion vertical for the cryptocurrencies, gold and silver. The time now is very, very short. May God bless you and your entire family. Our world is at the precipice of change.